Hi and welcome back to IndieGems. Thanks for joining us. We've got a bit of an unusual review today in the sense that it's not a recent release, it's an older game released back in 2022, but I've always wanted to play it and the chance popped up thanks to our friends at Lurkit, so I took it. You've probably already heard of it and perhaps even played it. It's called Tunic and it is a Zelda-esque action, exploration and puzzle game. I haven't come across many games like this where the puzzles are so intricately weaved within the story and through exploration. There are secrets and hidden pathways everywhere which reward exploration and progress, but some of the puzzles are next gen in the way they are presented. Most of these very obscure secrets can be found by collecting pieces of the instruction booklet, and on these 50 odd pages of instructions lie clues to finding and solving these puzzles, but they are extremely difficult to decipher and will challenge the most experienced puzzle enthusiasts. The good news is that these puzzles are more geared towards achievement hunters or completionists, because most of them are not required to actually complete the game. In fact, I went through most of these puzzles at the end when I only had the final boss battle to complete. So don't let the challenging nature of these puzzles put you off the game, but if that interests you, then give them a go. There are plenty of guides out there which explain where to look in the booklet for these clues and what the answer to these riddles are. The bread and butter of the game is exploration and combat. Starting off is probably when you are most vulnerable, because you only own a stick as a weapon and enemies can seem quite powerful when you are trying to bash them with a twig. If you venture into an area where you meet even more powerful enemies, then you will get killed pretty quickly, and you will be wondering how you are meant to defeat them. That thought process continues throughout the game, but obtaining better weapons, more lives, more hit points, magical points and stamina can level you up and give you a better chance. The difficulty levels are actually spot on in this game, and they encourage you to keep exploring, keep fighting to earn coins from defeated foes, and then try again. Later on, these areas where you are struggling will become easy, but the game does an excellent job of introducing these areas at a point that makes them difficult at the time, but not too difficult that it will put you off. It is a very addictive game. You can have a range of weapons, being either melee like a sword, ranged like bombs, or magic attacks like an ice bolt, firebolt or grappler, but these must be found around the environment, usually contained within chests that are well hidden or protected by bosses that need to be defeated. Melee weapons and rolling around will use up stamina, and magical weapons use up magical mana. In particularly hectic arenas, when you are surrounded by enemies, a lack of magical mana or stamina can have devastating consequences. Your stamina does quickly regenerate, but once your magical mana runs out, it will stay depleted until you either find a shrine which refreshes your health and mana and also any enemies, or you can buy potions from a merchant. But they only increase your mana a little and are quite expensive, so I mostly opted for the retreat and find shrine option, or die and think of a plan of action on how to tackle the situation. When you die, you return to the last shrine you prayed at, which can be far away if you cannot find a nearer one, and I have felt frustrated on occasions having to travel back to the scene of my death, but in general it's not too bad. There is a bit of strategy needed during normal encounters with enemies. Some fly, so need ranged weapons, some have shields, so need to be attacked from behind, and some fire at you, so you need to roll dodge out of the way. When you get a mixture of all of them, it can feel quite exciting. Now and again you will come across a boss fight. There are 6 in total, and they get gradually harder and can be quite tricky. Some of them may require you to get more powerful before you can return to defeat them by upgrading your attack or defense points. The only way of doing that is to find chests which have special items which you can sacrifice in exchange for a bump in one of your stats for attack, defense, potion strength, hit points, stamina points or magic points. I usually love exploration, but I probably got more lost in this game than any other game I have played. If you have a terrible memory like I do, then prepare to walk around a lot looking for a specific place, because the map can be confusing to use and there is no quest finder or compass to help you move in the right direction. This did bring about a bit of frustration for me, and I needed to use Google to answer where certain areas were located. I don't necessarily think this will be a problem for everyone, but remembering where specific paths are and how areas are joined up is definitely an advantage. Some areas are inaccessible without certain powers, like a grappling hook or a super dash, and other things are only obtainable by day or by night. These and a lot of other things will be discovered as you progress and as you obtain more parts of your instruction manual, because there is no hand-holding in this game. You are just thrown into the action, and your only guide is an incomplete instruction booklet written in an alien language. There were a lot of procedures like the day and night cycle that I wasn't aware of until much later in the game, and mostly from watching YouTube videos, so if you don't enjoy discovering these sorts of things, then it may hinder you in your progress. Because the game has been released for a while now though, there are plenty of tutorials everywhere, and I would suggest watching one that explains the mechanics of the game if you think that will bother you. In conclusion, I really enjoyed Tunic, and although it tested my reactions and combat prowess to the limit, I still managed to complete almost all of the game, and I felt quite chuffed that I had managed it. I don't particularly class myself as great at combat games, so with a bit of perseverance and tactics, I think most people can get through this game with a bit of dedication, but I could also see why some people might give up on it. Personally, I think Tunic has a wonderful reward system in place that keeps you motivated and energised and determined to come back stronger and prevail. It looks great with an adorable protagonist, sounds great, and has some very clever ideas. It's certainly unique and deserves to be tried if you enjoy action combat games with a Metroidvania kind of exploration. Okay, that's all for our review of Tunic. I'm glad I eventually got around to playing it, and I hope you enjoyed the video even though it was an older game. We've got plenty more videos on the way, so please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to be nudged when a new one drops. Thanks, and see you soon.